In a recent video, we covered how to maximize your impact on defense, and you guys wanted to see a part 2 covering attack side. So here are 3 in-depth tips on how to sharpen up your attack. Once again, this video aims to dive deeper than the usual Valorant tutorial content, so make sure to watch the video a couple of times and really work on implementing the tips, as this should 100% allow you to become a better player. The first big tip I have for you guys is to master the info game. On attack, you constantly need to gather and process information, and you need to try and put that information together to create a mental image of the map and the enemy team's setup. The mistake most players make is that they see and hear the info, but they don't keep a constant mental note on where each enemy is. Here's an example. You're on ascent and start the round off slow by going A. You see Jet, who dashes away after a peek, and Brimstone mollies A main right after. Now, a little bit later into the round, your teammate in mid also spots the enemy Sage in A short, and right after you guys get a kill on Sova, who peeks in market. Now, where should you go in this situation? Definitely B side, ideally a split through mid. You spotted 3 different players on A and killed one mid, so there can only be one player on B, which makes sense as Killjoy is most likely anchoring there. It really is not that difficult to keep track of 5 players, but most people just don't do it and then feel lost in mid rounds. Keeping track like this will also allow you to pick up the enemy team's defending style and adapt your strategy accordingly. For example, if they always rotate super quickly, you can throw some fakes in and take advantage of that. The better you're able to adjust your attacking angle to the enemy team's weaknesses, the more impact you will be able to have. Now, for this next point, I get it, team play is complicated and sometimes just non-existent in solo queue. However, any team play starts with yourself and you actually playing your role. As a duelist, you need to lead the charge. Go in first, entry, and create space for your team. Don't hesitate to ask for utility from your team so you can do your job. As a support, which are controllers and initiators, your job is to set up your team and your duelist especially. So make their lives easier by keeping your utility sharp. As an initiator, you should be going with the majority of the team and be there to clear space and get important trades on your duelist. As a controller, you can either go with your team or control space on the map and lurk. As a sentinel, your job is to keep map control. Keep those flanks covered and lurk a solid amount of rounds in order to keep your team's options open. You don't have to come up with complicated strategies, coordinate entire side executes, or try to explain the perfect fake. Just make sure that the basics are in place. Speaking of side executes, they are a big part of attacking, especially in solo queue, so I want to highlight those specifically. Here's how an execute works and how you can significantly improve your success rate and impact. As already mentioned, the duelist creates space. Let's take Jet as an example. She throws a smoke on side and dashes in to create space for the team and draw attention. If smokes block the major defender choke points and there is something like a Sova dart or drone clearing angles, then there's a good chance already that Jet can survive the initial few seconds on side. And this is crucial because if Jet instantly dies while nobody else from the team managed to get on side yet, things become very hard right away. On the other hand though, if Jet dashes in and right after the entire rest of the team runs out on side without any idea on where defenders play, they are also likely going to get mowed down. Instead of running out the smoke with your crosshair in no man's land and no idea from which angle you're going to get fought, you want to bait your Jet just a little bit to draw out info on defenders' positions and then exit the smoke with crosshair placement ready to trade. So you need to find the balance and play off each other. The team makes sure that Jet is able to survive on side, while Jet uses that time to provoke enemies into revealing their positions. Once the team knows those positions, everyone gets in and trades. No matter if you play the duelist role or a support role, applying these protocols will drastically reduce the amount of time you die without any counterplay and will allow you to get those valuable kills when entering side. Now, to round up this video, I want to talk about post-plant situations. Here, you as an attacker typically have the advantage since the roles are now reversed. You're defending the side while defenders need to retake through choke points. What's important to understand is that there are always 2 major types of post-plant situations. safety type and aggression type. In a safety type situation, you're either having the man advantage already or it's at least equal. You don't need to make any plays here to try and get kills. Just play safe and in positions where you can trade off of your teammates and the kills will come to you. Here's a typical example. We're on Pearl and we're able to plant the spike for long and have double man advantage already in a 5 versus 3. You can see how I'm hovering on the entry to side, and when the enemy team smokes off long, there is this short moment where I feel like pushing on side. Not necessarily out of greed for kills, but because I often have this misconception that I need to take space or help my Astra who's still on side. But I told myself to play more patiently in these spots, so I simply retreat towards long, where I am then able to dodge the Killjoy lockdown as well. And look at how easy it is to then win this round and get 2 kills. We have mollies and seizes for the spike, can easily spam them, there is nothing that defenders can do and I get 2 kills. If I had pushed B-Link with Astra instead and died as well, we might have still lost this round. Now in aggression type situations, things are very different. Here you are typically at a man disadvantage, and if you want to win the round, you need to take risks and try to make a play. Here's a post-plant situation on Haven where we end up in a 2 versus 4. If I were to just play on side and try to defend there, in the vast majority of cases we would just get out-traded and overwhelmed on side due to fighting 4 enemies. So it's time to get creative and try catching the enemy team off guard. Sure enough, I hear 3 players running through CT as they are already quite late because of the Sage res. So I wait for the perfect timing to peek them, and since they are unaware, it's the easiest 3k of my life. So make sure to identify what kind of a situation you find yourself in and then play accordingly, as this will maximize your chances of winning the round. Now in order to have this positive impact every single game, you also need to become a consistent player. How you can achieve that is explained in our consistency guide, so make sure you watch that next, it's linked right here. I'll see you there.